I think everyone's opinion is valid, but it's not always valuable. You know, somebody just posted some, I don't know, dumb comment on my Instagram. I'm like, hey buddy. Hey health heroes, welcome back to Adamimmune, the channel all about helping you improve your autoimmune health naturally. And today I want to talk about our kryptonite. Now this is going to be different for absolutely everyone, okay? When I say that, it's kind of a dumb thing, but I wanted to talk about this because I was watching this other YouTuber on TV and he was talking about, well, okay, he was kind of going crazy. I'm not going to get into who it was, but they were basically having like a mental breakdown. It seems like there is just one thing that just like is our worst trigger, right? And for a lot of people like me, that's going to be, well, I shouldn't say my big weakness here, right? No, it's nightshades. Clearly, I've said that thousands of times. My worst trigger is nightshades. But for someone else, seemingly this guy, it was like EMF or radiation from electrical devices. Like, yeah, that can be a trigger for a lot of people, especially if you live in like a big city and there's all kinds of different frequencies. Now, the government will tell us it's harmless and whatever, but as we know, tomatoes aren't harmless either, right? So there are a lot of things that can trigger you and that can be like your worst thing, your worst trigger. So just keep that in mind. For some people, it's going to be sleep. For some people, it's going to be stress. Let's say even on like a windy day, I have to be careful because like if it's too windy, it's going to be stirring up dust, and I live in Kansas and it could be pretty dusty here, and the dust is also a trigger for me. It's not as powerful as a nightshade, but it's subtle. It's there. Headache, tightness in my sinus area. Actually, I used to have like sinusitis. I had like the worst, and like for 6 months out of the year, it was bad, and I was like, oh God, just the worst. So maybe you found your kryptonite, but you're looking for your strength. What's your superpower? It is definitely my disease overall. Like my specific HS, my autoimmune issue, it's a skin disease, right? And I will flare almost immediately to, well, obviously nightshades, probably first. So like, to me, I mean, it's a curse and a blessing, right? But to me, it feels like my superpower because not only am I'm reacting to these foods, I'm super sensitive. For those people like me, it's like, well, obviously this is your trigger, right? I can see this, but for some people that have like, you know, all that mental issues and fog and all that, and I had that too, that's going to be hard to see. A lot of these triggers are going to be hard to find, you know, different environmental factors, maybe the toxic chemicals within your hygiene products, things like that, toothpaste, whatever. That's going to be hard to find. And I feel for everyone, but it just depends, right? So if like you're finding that foods aren't your major trigger, make sure your sleep is on point, make sure you're getting sunlight, you're getting some movement in, some exercise, not too much, right? Start small. Make sure you're checking your chemicals in the products you're using. You may have to go to a functional medicine doctor, make sure you don't have a parasite, a SIBO, an infection, a virus. There are so many things besides just food, right? Hey, leave in the comments below what is your biggest trigger, your kryptonite. Anyway, so I just wanted to make a point of this. I was watching that on TV and I thought, well, God, this guy, he's kind of losing it, and I think he realizes a trigger, but then he goes and makes a video not realizing he's just like, I don't know, kind of out there, and people in the comments are like, hey man, you okay? Like, I don't know. I feel bad for him, but it's like, he'll be able to see it later when he, like, you know, he calms down, maybe get some sleep, because seemingly this is a guy that doesn't get a lot of sleep either, so that's definitely not helping. And I think he's intolerant to like histamines, so he's got to be on a low histamine, whatever, carnivore diet. This one's on a carnivore diet. It's just an extreme form of AIP, because when you're so intolerant to so many foods, how can you not go that direction, right? I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody that goes that direction. Somebody just posted some, I don't know, dumb comment on my Instagram, and something about oxalates. They were talking about, oh, yummy, oxalates that cause inflammation or whatever. I'm like, hey buddy, I have to explain this to people. Like, oxalates aren't inherently evil, right? It's just like, it's in this food, right? It is, of course. There's a lot of things in different foods, and we have, let's say we were designed to overcome those, okay, for the most part. We are resilient, and they make us even more resilient for the most part, but like just eating oxalates on its own isn't going to cause issues, right? Well, we are damaged, okay? If we weren't damaged, this wouldn't be an issue, and not everyone's intolerant to oxalates. Some people are, yeah, definitely, 100%. Some people are intolerant to oxalates, just like some people are to salicitates or lectins or whatever. And some of us are intolerant to multiple things, right? But it's not like a grain, okay? It's not like it's a refined, processed, artificial food that we're consuming that are causing these gut issues in the first place, okay? This is just like an irritant after the fact, right? But it's a specific irritant to our specific systems, okay? Not everybody is intolerant to oxalates. I don't know how many times they're gonna have to say this to people. It's like they get in this and they have this like basic knowledge and they don't have any experience in this, so they're just going off of what they hear, and I get that. And then they fall in the carnivore category, and then they hear from the carnivores, ooh, oxalates, oh, plant foods are all toxic. I get that, I totally get that. But it's just a good reminder to remember everyone is different, right? Okay, yes, there are very common trigger foods. Is an oxalate a very common trigger food? I mean, you could take a poll in the autoimmune community and you might get, I don't know, you might get 10%. Is that common? Is 20% common? But again, you're taking it of the autoimmune community. You're taking it of the general public. If you do that, go out and ask somebody on the street, oh, are you intolerant to broccoli, to spinach or whatever? Can you tolerate that? Well, they'll probably be like, oh yeah, I can, but you know, I don't eat those foods, so who knows? But if you go out and ask them, hey, can you drink milk? Well, you know, what is it, 73 or something % of people on earth are intolerant to lactose, right? They can't digest it. If you're a carnivore and you're telling people, oh, oxalates are toxic, well, what are you going to say about dairy then, right? Like, most people can't handle dairy, even taking a poll in the autoimmune community, it's going to be probably like 90%, but you look at the people and everyone on earth, 70-something %, 70 up to 75% or whatever. So, I don't know, it's a really kind of dumb argument, I would say. I think everyone's opinion is valid, but it's not always valuable, you know, especially to me or to everyone, right? Everyone's opinion is valuable to themselves. Of course, I think I have the best info out there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And leave those weaknesses in the comments. I really do want to read them. See you later.